You're welcome back. You're watching Business Morning. We're coming to you live from Asaba, the Delta State capital, where the state government is actually rolling out the first tranche of 500 million naira out of the 2 billion naira of the central bank's micro, small and medium enterprises development fund for the state. The government, we're now being joined by the executive governor of the Delta State, Dr. Emmanuel Uduaghan. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. First, just to say, I'm a governor, not executive governor.
All right, congratulations on this scheme that has been launched. And I know that a lot of people have been looking forward to this being, done by your government. And of course, I know that before now you've been assisting small business owners, medium-scale business owners in Delta State. I just wanted to tell us, what is the objective of this rollout, this specific rollout in Delta?
Well, this rollout really is the central bank driven program. Like you rightly said, in this state, one of the major things we try to do is to empower the people at the lower ladder of the society, which people tend to ignore. Various governments will come in, we want to do the big things and forget about the small ticket things. For us in the States, we lay emphasis on the pro-poor programs, empowerment, education, health, transportation. And so from 2007 up till now, we'll be funding small-scale businesses. Micro businesses really, some have grown to small-scale businesses. But what the central bank has done with the coming in of the new governor of central bank, Governor Emefiele, to inject funds, more funds, up to 220 billion into that small and medium-scale enterprises, and each state has a maximum at least of 2 billion. And for us, at the launching of the program, I think about 2 months ago in Abuja, only 2 states were qualified to be given the first tranche. Delta, 500 million, and I think Akwa Ibom, 250 million, because there are a lot of criteria before you can qualify. And so what we are doing today is the 500 million out of the 2 billion we're entitled to. I need to emphasize that we are not being given 2 billion yet. We're entitled to 2 billion. But today we are rolling out to the beneficiaries the first tranche, which is the 500 million. And I'm happy that the central bank governor will be around, central bank officials will be around, and of course the beneficiaries will be around. What we also try to showcase today is our experiences in the microcredit program. So we are going to showcase some of participants who have benefited from us previously and what they've been able to do.
Now, what do you make of the timing of this rollout? Because this is towards the end of your tenure. One would have thought that if this was done maybe in the first term or first term in office, or even the beginning of this particular tenure, there would have been more results. But what do you make of the timing?
Yes, again, let me emphasize that we've been doing this since 2007. Now, the timing now is because the new central bank governor, who also believes in funding lower small businesses, micro businesses and small businesses, which for me really it's going to be the catalyst for the development of this nation. This is when the fund is coming from central bank. So whether really I don't have issues with the timing, whether it's beginning of the tenure or end of the tenure, because I believe that government is a continuous exercise. We are rolling the 500 million naira out now, $1 million naira out now. Hopefully, we'll be able to get the 2 billion before I leave. Even if we don't get all before I leave, the next governor will continue from where we are stopping. So it's a continuous exercise. As long as Delta State exists, as long as Nigeria exists, this program should be on.
Now, this fund will be given out at 9% interest rate, a single-digit interest rate, because I know that there's been calls from various quarters for the central bank to reduce its monetary policy rate. And now this special purpose vehicle instrument has been given out at 9%. What do you think that would do to the scheme itself?
I think it's very nice. It's very interesting. Now, what has happened is that the 9% interest rate, which is much lower than the normal commercial rates, I hope it will encourage the beneficiaries to be able to make returns. And I'm hoping that eventually, we are still pleading with the central bank that they should even make it a zero interest rate. You know, there are some funds all over the world where the interest is just about 0.75. Why can't we get to that level in Nigeria? So we've been even pleading with central bank to even reduce the interest rate. That will encourage more people to come in. That will increase the number of people that will benefit from it. But having said that, although the money is coming from central bank, the management of the whole process is being done by the state government. And that management also involves funding. Now, what would have happened is that the fund from the central bank, maybe 500 billion, 500 million, I keep talking about billion, 500 million that's coming from central bank, maybe we have said, okay, let us take some money from it to manage the program. But we said no, the full 500 million must go to the beneficiaries. Whatever funding is necessary, is required to manage the program itself. The state government is bearing that cost. Okay. You know, the state government is bearing that cost. And I'm hoping that maybe in the near future, when the funding of the state improves, we may even be able to bear part of the interest. You know, whether 5% or all of that. You know.
Now, how do you think that you intend to monitor the use of this fund by the beneficiaries?
Now, because the program we understand very well, you know, it's a basic program. In the villages, in the markets, you have women who form themselves to cooperatives, and they collect money. They call it, I know in my area, they call it susu. You know, they collect money, maybe about 20 of them, and when they put the money together, 15 will benefit from that fund. The remaining 5 will be waiting. And because the remaining 5 are waiting, they ensure that the 15 make returns. Because without their making returns, they will not benefit. You know, so we have this peer pressure or peer monitoring to ensure that the money is made available. That is the system we have also used in our microcredit scheme. The cooperative system, we form them into cooperatives. You know, to get money from the banks, you normally require collaterals. But at this level, they don't need collaterals, because the people who have not benefited ensure that those who have benefited make returns. That is one. 2, the microfinance banks, because we don't give the money directly to the participants, we give the money through microfinance banks. The microfinance banks have a management system that's able to monitor the beneficiaries. And again, on the 3rd level is the state government itself. Once in a while, I've sent my project monitoring team to go and look at some of these farms. But what we do is, we do not just allow the units to operate alone. All the beneficiaries will have their data, we have their telephone numbers, and in fact, 2 years ago, every commissioner is supposed to be monitoring in his local government council, because they have the telephone and be able to.
Now, this initiative is coming at a time of economic uncertainties, on the background of the volatility in the price of crude oil in the international market. Now, you have been planning to look beyond oil. I remember the Delta Beyond Oil slogan the state government has adopted. Now, what kind of drive do you think this scheme gives you to look beyond crude oil, generating revenues from crude oil, and going into the non-oil sector?
Yes, I'm happy that people are beginning to accept the realities. Something we have been talking about for almost 7 years now, that this oil that we all totally are dependent on cannot last forever. The prices can affect us drastically, and that is what is happening. And that we need to look at other sectors. We need to look at the area of agriculture, area of tourism, culture, manufacturing, solid minerals. This is our campaign for the last 7 years. And it is not just rhetoric, it is real. Today, it is real. And what is happening now gives us the impetus to even pursue more other sectors, the non-oil sectors of the economy. And I'm happy that the federal government is also into this, you know. Of course, you know, the agri program of the federal government, the manufacturing program, they are all geared towards looking at other sectors of the economy beyond oil. And that is something we have been talking about in Delta, something we have been doing, something we have been driving very vigorously in the state.
I'd like us to look at the guiding principles for the, for this fund. Now, 60% is for women entrepreneurs, 80% is dedicated to micro entrepreneurs, and 20% of the fund is for another set of people. Then finally, 2% is for the fiscally challenged. Now, what do you make of this allocation? I'm sure this was given to you by the central bank.
Yes, I like the way it's been allocated. First, starting from the women. From my experience, women are more dedicated in this kind of program. They make more returns. They are more committed. Men seem to have some distraction, like I experienced initially. Men seem to have some distractions when they get this money. Sometimes they are thinking of second wives and all that, but the women are more committed. So central bank saying that 60% should go to women. We've gone beyond that in this state. We're doing up to 66% for women. Then two, I also believe that a lot more emphasis should be on the manufacturing sector. When we started, our experience was that we're doing more with trading. But you see, the future of industrial development will not depend on trading, will depend more on manufacturing. And the manufacturing can start from micro, small manufacturing businesses. That's why you heard this morning about aquaculture, about the plantain flour. All those are manufacturing, getting the raw materials from maybe agriculture and solid minerals, into manufacturing. So it is. That's why I'm quite happy with the way the central bank has given directive. But also critically is the issue of the fiscally challenged. We have a physically challenged unit in Delta, in which certain basic things are being done. 5% of our employment in the state is reserved for physically challenged. And we have also, through that physically challenged unit, been able to train a lot of them and also empower them. For this program now, you will see we have a barber he has only one hand, but he has trained several barbers. He's physically challenged. So I'm quite pleased that 2% is going to the physically challenged, and we'll stick to it.